I will teach you to be rich, not by labor, not by the accumulation of facts, nor by any physical effort, but by awakening in you the divine principle that already possesses wealth beyond measure. You see, riches are not something you chase. They are not earned in the way the world has taught you. To be rich is to recognize yourself as already possessing all that you desire. This is not fantasy nor mere optimism. It is the very truth of being. When you believe that wealth is something outside of you, you place it at a distance. You separate yourself from it, and in doing so, create a gulf between yourself and that which you wish to possess. But I tell you, you are already that which you seek. You are already rich. You have only to assume the feeling of wealth, to walk in the consciousness of abundance, and the outer world will conform to your inner conviction. Do not misunderstand me. This is not a call to laziness, nor to deny the world of action. But all action springs from being, and being is consciousness. What you are conscious of being, that you become. You do not become rich by first doing. You become rich by first being rich in consciousness. All things follow that inner state. Now, if you wish to be rich, ask yourself, what would it feel like if I were already rich? Not tomorrow, not next month, not after the lottery win or promotion. Now, what would I see? What would I hear? How would I move through the world if I were wealthy beyond imagination? Would I not walk with ease? Would I not speak with assurance? Would I not radiate peace, generosity, and confidence? You must assume that feeling now. You must live in the end. The end is where your wealth is real, not as a hope, but as a present reality. Imagination is the means. Feeling is the secret. In your imagination, dwell in the state of wealth. Sleep in that state. Speak from that state. Let every thought spring from the truth that you are already rich. Some say this is delusion. I tell you, it is the only reality. Everything you now see, your bank account, your surroundings, your circumstances, is merely the shadow cast by a previous state of consciousness. Change the inner state, and the outer world will rearrange itself accordingly. This is law, immutable and perfect. You are not poor because the world is unfair. You are poor because you accept poverty as a fact. Refuse to accept it. Do not resist it with fear or hatred that only cements it further. Rather, ignore it. Turn from appearances and fasten your attention upon what you desire, as though it were already yours. Use the power of your wonderful human imagination. See yourself as the one who already has. Hear the congratulations. Feel the texture of the life you wish to live. Touch the richness, taste the abundance, breathe in the air of opulence. What you fully accept in imagination must come to pass in your world, for imagination creates reality. Suppose tonight, as you lay in bed, you feel the sheets of your new estate. You smell the fragrance of your private garden. You hear the sound of the sea from your terrace, though none of these are yet apparent to the senses. Yet you persist in feeling them, believing them, and accepting them as true. I promise you, the world must mirror this change. It must. This is no idle theory. This is law. Do not be dismayed if things appear unchanged at first. A seed does not sprout the instant it is planted, but the harvest is sure. So walk in faith, not by sight. Walk in the knowing that what you feel is true within must take form without. It is not by striving that you become rich. It is by accepting. Striving implies you do not yet have. Accepting declares you already possess. Your imagination is the Christ within. It is the creative power of God housed in the mind of man. When you accept a thing as true in imagination, you have accepted it in reality. The world will reflect it in time. How long shall it take? That is not your concern. Your only task is to persist in the assumption. Persist. Let no contradictory appearance dissuade you. Hold fast to the truth of your inner world, and the outer must yield. Perhaps you wonder how this wealth shall come. That too is not your concern. Do not concern yourself with the means. The how is not your job. The end is yours. The means are God's. If you will live in the end, the means will unfold naturally, effortlessly, harmoniously. You may receive a call, an opportunity, a brilliant idea, or events may unfold in ways you could never have planned. Do not limit the method. Simply dwell in the end. You might say, but I have no money to pay rent, no job, no help. And I say to you, begin now to revise that story. Begin now to imagine what you desire. When you accept the state of wealth, it will clothe itself in the outer world. It is not arrogance to feel rich. It is truth. It is not delusion to walk as though you possess great wealth. It is the only sane approach, for only by assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled do you make it manifest. I have seen men with nothing through imagination and feeling rise to great prosperity, and I have seen those with millions lose it all by their inner poverty. For what a man is inwardly, so is he outwardly. You cannot mask your inner state for long. It must outpicture itself. This is why I urge you to take this seriously. Your thoughts are not idle. Your assumptions are not neutral. Every feeling accepted as true becomes your world. If you feel lack, you will encounter lack. If you feel wealth, you will encounter wealth. The law cannot be broken. So how do you begin? You begin now. Right now, close your eyes. See yourself as already having what you desire. Don't strain, just allow. Let the image come. Let the feeling rise. Perhaps you are standing on the deck of your yacht, or signing a large check, or smiling as your accountant congratulates you. Let the scene unfold, and feel it as real. Then carry that feeling with you. Walk in that mood. Respond to life as the wealthy man or woman. Let the world be a mirror to that inner conviction. Soon the mirror will reflect what you have been inwardly entertaining. You do not need to work harder. You need to believe more deeply. Work when it comes will be joyful, inspired and guided. But effort without inner assumption is toil. Labor without vision is drudgery. So I teach you the effortless way, the graceful way, the way of imagining yourself into wealth. When the riches come, and they will, do not boast. Do not say, I did this by my strength. Say instead, it is done unto me as I believed. Give thanks to the power within, the Christ of your being, your imagination. For it is He who makes all things possible. Now there are those who will doubt. Let them. You are not here to convince the world. You are here to transform yourself. And in your transformation, the world will respond accordingly. Speak to yourself lovingly. Tell yourself, I am rich, I am abundant, I am wealthy beyond measure. Say it not to convince, but to declare. Say it as one who already knows, and say it often. The repetition of assumption is the fertilization of manifestation. Do not allow old beliefs to rule you. If you were told that money is evil, release it. Money is neutral. It is simply a symbol, a servant of consciousness, and consciousness is what you are. Therefore you command wealth, not by force, but by the direction of your imagination. The greatest riches are not things, but states of being. And yet when you possess the state, the things will come. For all things are drawn to the one who lives in the feeling of the fulfilled desire. You may start small. Imagine receiving unexpected income. Imagine checking your account and smiling at the abundance. Imagine walking into a store and buying what you desire, without concern. Let these scenes impress your subconscious. For what you impress, you express. There is no power outside you dictating what you may or may not have. There is only the reflection of your own assumption. The law is perfect. The law is just. The law is always working. And the law states, as within so without. You may have failed before. It does not matter. Begin again. The past does not define you unless you carry it forward. Drop the weight of old stories. Create a new story now, with the pen of imagination. Script your wealth in the theater of the mind, and let the world be your stage. Tonight as you lay in bed, do not think of lack. Do not rehearse your worries. Instead drift into sleep, with the feeling of the wish fulfilled. See your home, your bank account, your travels, your generosity. Whatever wealth means to you. See it, feel it, accept it, and fall asleep in that mood. You will rise in a world made new. Maybe not all at once, but you will feel the shift. And that shift is the beginning of the unfolding. Trust it. Nourish it. Return to the feeling often. Let it become natural to you. For when it feels natural, it is ready to manifest. I have taught you nothing new. I have only reminded you of what you have always known in your heart. You are rich. You have always been rich. You simply forgot, and now you remember. So go forth, not as one who seeks riches, but as one who expresses them. Let your wealth bless others. Let it be a light in the world. And never again say I am poor. Say always, I am the rich child of a rich Creator, and all that is mine comes to me now in perfect harmony. Believe this, feel this, live this, and the world will bow before the majesty of your assumption. For imagination creates reality. And you, my friend, are the master of imagination. When you find yourself tempted to look at the evidence of your senses, remember that the senses only reflect past assumptions. They are not truth. They are shadows. Your present feeling, your current assumption, that is the true cause. The outer world is merely the delayed echo of your inner speech, your silent convictions. So even when appearances deny your wealth, you remain unmoved. You go within. You return to your inner sanctuary, where all things are already complete. Every moment is an opportunity to revise. Did you just speak from lack? Then stop and revise it now. Speak again, this time from abundance. I am wealthy. All my needs are met. Everything flows to me with ease. Say it gently. Say it with love. Say it until it feels like home. And when it does, the outer must conform. This is the law. It cannot be otherwise. Perhaps someone around you mocks this truth. They tell you that money only comes from hard labor, connections, education, or luck. Bless them, but do not believe them. Their belief is creating their experience, just as yours is shaping yours. If you follow their law, you will live their life. But if you dare to stand in your own conviction and assume the richness of life as yours, you will walk a very different path, one paved not by effort, but by consciousness. The great secret is this: you already are what you long to be. There is no journey, no delay. There is only awakening to your true identity. So instead of chasing money, awaken to yourself as abundance. Money will find you. Opportunities will find you. Inspired action will arise naturally. You will not need to force or chase. You will attract, magnetize, receive. This is not idle dreaming. This is creation. Real creation does not begin on the outside. It begins in the silence of your mind, in the stillness of your inner being. And so spend time each day imagining. Go into a quiet room. Close your eyes. Let the body rest. And in that gentle state of relaxation, construct your scene. Make it vivid. Use your senses. But most of all, feel it. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is the key. Perhaps you imagine a friend shaking your hand and saying, "I knew you'd make it. Congratulations on all your success." Or maybe you're walking into your favorite boutique and buying everything you love without glancing at the price tags. Or you see yourself writing a check for a new home, or giving generously to someone in need. Whatever stirs your heart, dwell in that. Let it saturate you. Make it so real in imagination that it becomes more real than the so-called facts of your current world. Then let it go. Do not clutch it with desperation. Desire fulfilled is calm. You do not cling to what you know is already yours. You rest. You relax. You trust. This trust is not passive. It is powerful. It says, "I have created it within, and so I know it must come without." As you go about your day, hold to that feeling. Walk as the wealthy man. Think as the rich woman. Speak as one who lives in overflowing abundance. Let others say what they will. Let the world show what it will. You are not swayed by shadows. You live from the light within, and the outer must eventually conform to the pattern you have woven in secret. If doubts come, and they will, do not resist them with fear. Simply return to your assumption. Say gently to yourself, "This too shall pass. My wealth is real. It is mine now." And so it is. Each return to your inner conviction strengthens the foundation. Each act of faith is a building block in your unseen mansion of abundance. You must persist. This is not a one-time imagining. This is a new way of being. You are rewriting the script of your life. And as with any performance, repetition is key. You are becoming familiar with wealth, making it natural to you. And once it becomes natural, it must become visible. This is why I say riches are not earned. They are revealed. They are the outer expression of your inner state. And the higher you ascend in consciousness, the more beauty, the more provision, the more miracles you shall see. The world will seem to change, but in truth it is you who changed, and the world had no choice but to follow. So now what shall you do when you wake tomorrow? Begin anew. Speak to yourself not of limitation, but of lavish abundance. Everything I touch turns to gold. I am in harmony with wealth. I attract prosperity with every breath, not as empty affirmations, but as declarations of truth. Say them with feeling. Say them with conviction. You are not trying to become, you already are. You are claiming what is eternally yours. Let your actions align with this new belief. Do not act from fear. Act from faith. If you feel led to invest, do so. If you feel drawn to create, create. But act always from the state of being rich. Let your inner wealth guide your outer steps. You are no longer a beggar, seeking scraps. You are the heir of an infinite kingdom, and your every step confirms your royalty. Should the winds of doubt or delay blow, Take refuge once again in imagination. Close the door to the outer and return to your kingdom within. Sit upon the throne of your assumption, and reign with quiet confidence. The world will bow. It must. For the outer is servant to the inner, always. You will come to see that the entire world is yourself pushed out, that what you assumed in secret is now shouted from the rooftops, that the voice you whispered within becomes the echo of praise you hear from every direction, and then you will no longer wonder if this works. You will know. You will have tasted and seen, and in that knowing you will be free. As you continue to embody this truth, you will notice something extraordinary. Life becomes lighter. The burden of striving falls away. You begin to walk through your days with a quiet assurance, a gentle power. People will notice something different about you, though they may not know what it is. They will feel your ease, your confidence, your radiance, and they will be drawn to it. They will want to be near you, to work with you, to offer opportunities, to celebrate your success. But all of it begins within. You will find that money comes in unexpected ways, not because you are lucky, but because you are aligned. You have assumed the consciousness of wealth, and that consciousness attracts form. It pulls people, events and circumstances to match your new vibration, and you will no longer need to analyze or control how it happens. You will simply know that it must. Your old identity will try to rise again from time to time. It may whisper things like, "This is too good to be true," or "You don't deserve this." But you must not listen. That voice is not your true self. It is the echo of an old belief, one you no longer inhabit. Let it speak, and let it pass. Do not engage. Do not argue. Return instead to the feeling of the wish fulfilled. The rich man does not debate his wealth. He simply knows. You will start to see opportunities where once you saw obstacles. Doors that were shut will swing open. People who ignored you will now take notice. Not because they changed, but because you did. You have shifted internally, and the world cannot help but adjust itself to that shift. You are the center of your own universe. What you assume becomes law within your world. Perhaps you once thought that certain amounts of money were beyond you. Maybe you thought $1 million was only for others. But now you realize there are no limits except those you accept. You understand that wealth is infinite, and the source of it all is within you. You no longer look to jobs or people as your source. You see them merely as channels, vessels through which your assumption of wealth flows into form. As this truth deepens within you, you will notice your relationship with money changes. You will no longer fear spending. You will spend with joy, knowing that your supply is endless. You will give freely, without hesitation, because you know that what you give returns multiplied. You will receive with grace, without guilt, because you understand that to receive is as divine as to give. Money becomes a dance, a rhythm, a joyful movement of energy, and you in your assumption of wealth are the conductor. You guide it not with effort, but with belief. You no longer wait to feel secure after the money arrives. You feel secure first, and the money follows. You no longer wait to be happy after the success. You feel the success first, and the results appear. Everything begins with you. Everything. The rich life, the beautiful life, the generous life. It is all waiting within your consciousness, longing to be expressed. And you need not earn it in the way you were taught. You need only claim it, accept it, live from it. You need only rise each morning and say, "I am rich, I am abundant, I am blessed," and feel the truth of it in your bones. What of the world's objections? What of economy, politics, circumstance? They are powerless against your inner world, for you do not live by bread alone. You live by assumption. You live by the unseen reality, which molds the scene. And so you need not fear any report, any market, any condition. Your world is made from within, and it is always good. As your wealth grows, so too will your peace. You will no longer chase, grasp, or struggle. You will know that all things come to you in perfect timing. You will rest in the knowing that what is yours cannot be kept from you. And in that rest you will become magnetic. The rich life will chase you. Abundance will knock on your door. Prosperity will ask for your address. Others may ask you, "How did you do it?" And you will smile, for you will know it was not luck, nor striving, nor anything of the outer world. It was your assumption, your inner conversation, your secret imaginal act, repeated faithfully, until it hardened into fact. And you may share the secret, or you may simply live it. But either way, your life will be the testimony. You may find your entire life reorganizing around your new belief. People will leave who no longer match your frequency. New relationships will form, ones that reflect your abundance and vision. Your environment may change. Your career may evolve. Your sense of self will deepen,
expand and glow, and none of it will feel forced. It will feel inevitable. You will begin to trust your desires more deeply, knowing they are divine urges, not idle fantasies. When you desire wealth, it is because wealth desires to be expressed through you. When you see a vision of your future, it is because it already exists, waiting only for your assumption. And so you will stop questioning, doubting, resisting. You will simply accept. This acceptance is your power, not passive acceptance of what is, but active acceptance of what you choose to be. You will look at your bank account, and regardless of what it shows, you will say, I am rich, and you will feel it. You will look at your surroundings, and regardless of their simplicity, you will say, I am abundant, and you will believe it. And in time, oh how quickly, those words will become flesh. That feeling will solidify into form. That inner truth will shine so brightly, that nothing in the world can deny it. So I leave you with this truth, not as a hopeful idea, but as a divine law. You are rich now, not tomorrow, not someday. Now, the wealth you seek is already within you, waiting for your recognition. It is not something to earn, chase or deserve. It is something to accept, embody and assume. Stop living from appearances. Begin to live from your imagination. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and do not waver. Persist in that assumption, and the world will bend to your belief. This is not fantasy. This is creation. This is the sacred work of consciousness. You are the operant power. There is no power outside of you. What you feel yourself to be, you become. What you believe yourself to have, you will possess. Do not wait another day. Begin now. Declare with confidence, I am rich, I am successful, I am abundance in form. And as surely as the sun rises, your world will mirror it back to you, quietly, faithfully, miraculously. You will not just speak about wealth, you will become it.
There is a power within you, a force so absolute that it shapes the very fabric of your reality. It is not outside of you, not in the circumstances that surround you, but in the consciousness you embody. The world you see is nothing more than a reflection of the state you occupy. Change the state and the world must conform. You do not wait for proof, you do not beg for signs, you assume, you embody, and you walk in the certainty that all you desire is already yours. You do not hope for wealth, for love, for success. You live as though they are already a part of you, not with pretense, not with effort, but with the deep knowing that what you claim in mind must manifest in form. You do not chase, you do not grasp, you do not seek confirmation. You act from the end as the one who already possesses it. The world may call it delusion, but the world only sees the outer shell of things. The one who understands the law knows that all appearances are but shadows cast by the unseen. If you wish to be loved, you must walk as the one who is already adored. You do not need validation, for you carry within you the certainty of your worth. If you wish to be wealthy, you do not worry about lack, for the wealth is already yours in consciousness. You move, you speak, you think as one who has everything, not in arrogance, but in quiet confidence. For the one who truly has does not need to prove it. The feeling is the secret, the conviction, the unseen claim that draws all things into alignment. Your senses may tell you otherwise. They may whisper of lack, of absence, of limitation. But the senses are the servants of the mind, not its master. You do not react to what appears, you impose the truth of your assumption upon the world. You persist, unwavering, until what was once invisible becomes undeniable fact. You have already received all that you desire, you do not need permission to claim it. Walk as though you have it now, and reality must follow. Your reality is a reflection of your state of consciousness. Everything you see, experience, and encounter in your daily life is a direct manifestation of the thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions you hold within. The world outside is not separate from you, but an extension of your inner world. Change how you see yourself, how you perceive your circumstances, and the world must shift in response. You are not a passive observer of reality, you are its creator. What you consistently accept as true within your mind shapes the conditions you experience. Most people believe that circumstances dictate their state of mind. They allow the external world to control how they feel, react, and live. If they see lack, they believe in lack. If they experience rejection, they assume they are unwanted. They wait for the world to change before they feel different. But this is an illusion. The world is only mirroring back what they are dominantly conscious of. The mind is the source, the world is the effect. The mistake is in thinking the effect has the power to change the cause. To truly understand this principle, you must reverse your approach to life. Instead of reacting to what is, you must determine within yourself what will be. Your inner world must take precedence over external conditions. The moment you accept a new state of consciousness as your truth, the world begins to shift in unseen ways to reflect it. You do not need to force change upon the outer world. You only need to persist in your new assumption, and reality will rearrange itself accordingly. Think of the world as a mirror. If you stand before a mirror with a frown, you cannot demand the reflection to smile first. You must change your expression, and only then will the reflection change. The same principle applies to life. If you desire abundance but hold on to thoughts of lack, the world will continue to reflect scarcity. If you wish to be loved but persist in feeling unworthy, you will attract situations that confirm that belief. The world does not give you what you want, it gives you who you are, in consciousness. This is why it is essential to become deeply aware of your dominant thoughts and emotions. Every moment you are shaping your reality by what you accept as true. If you wake up each day feeling defeated, expecting hardship, and doubting your own power, you will continue to experience situations that reinforce those feelings. But if you begin each day with the conviction that you are powerful, worthy, and abundant, the world will respond accordingly. It is not enough to simply wish for change, you must embody it. You must live from the assumption that what you desire is already yours. This means thinking, feeling, and acting as the person who already possesses everything they seek. It is not about pretending or forcing, but about truly believing in the reality of your new state. When you assume a new consciousness, your entire vibration shifts, attracting to you the people, opportunities, and circumstances that match it. The moment you change your state of consciousness, you set into motion an invisible process of transformation. The world may not shift instantly, but the change has begun. Just as a seed does not sprout the moment it is planted, reality takes time to reorganize itself around your new assumption. Your only task is to remain faithful to the state you have chosen, trusting that what you hold within will inevitably be expressed without. No matter what your current circumstances may be, they are only a reflection of past assumptions. They do not define you, nor do they have the power to limit you. The only thing that matters is what you now choose to believe. Accept the truth that you are the creator of your experience, and you will no longer feel powerless in the face of life. You will understand that by shifting your inner world, you can shift any external condition. Reality is fluid, shaped entirely by consciousness. You do not need to change the world, you only need to change yourself. The outer world is simply a mirror. Change your inner state, and the reflection must follow. The key to manifesting anything in life is to assume and embody the feeling of already having it. Most people live in a state of wanting, constantly looking at their desires as something distant, something they must strive toward. But desire, when viewed as separate from you, remains just that, something outside of you. The secret is to step into the state of already having, already being, and already experiencing what you wish for. You must not wait for external confirmation before you believe in your new reality. You must claim it within first, and the outer world will follow. Everything you experience is shaped by your inner world, your beliefs, assumptions, and emotions. When you assume a state, you begin to think, act, and feel as if it were already true. And because consciousness is the only reality, what you persistently assume will eventually become your physical experience. The world does not operate on effort alone. It operates on vibration, frequency, and alignment. If you are constantly yearning for something, you are affirming its absence.
But when you embody the feeling of already possessing it, you send out a signal that attracts it to you effortlessly. Think of a person who is confident in their wealth. They do not obsess over money, nor do they question whether they will have enough. They live with a quiet assurance that wealth is theirs. This inner knowing shapes their actions, their decisions, and their interactions with the world. They carry themselves differently, they speak differently, and opportunities naturally gravitate toward them. Contrast this with someone who feels financially insecure. They are always in a state of worry, fear, and lack. Their mind constantly affirms scarcity, and as a result, their world reflects that back to them. The difference between these two individuals is not in their external circumstances, but in their inner states. To assume and embody your desire, you must first ask yourself, if I already had what I want, how would I feel? This question is the gateway to transformation. Once you determine the feeling, you must cultivate it within you until it becomes your natural state. If you desire love, embody the feeling of being deeply loved and cherished. If you desire success, assume the confidence of one who is already successful. Do not wait for external proof. Act as though your wish is already fulfilled. One of the greatest obstacles people face is doubt. The logical mind wants to question, to seek evidence before believing. But reality does not work that way. The unseen comes before the seen. Your consciousness precedes your circumstances. Just as a sculptor sees the finished work in their mind before shaping the stone, you must see yourself as already possessing your desire before it takes form. The mistake many make is to wait for the world to change before changing their inner state. But the law is clear. What you assume within must be expressed without. A simple yet powerful exercise is to live each day as though your desire has already manifested. If you were already living in your dream home, how would you walk through it? If you already had the perfect relationship, how would you feel waking up next to your partner? If you were already successful, how would you approach your work? Embody these feelings now, and the world will rearrange itself to match them. It is not about pretending or deceiving yourself. It is about shifting your consciousness to a new state of being. The subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It simply accepts the impressions you give it. When you consistently assume a new state, the subconscious begins to accept it as truth. This is why visualization is such a powerful tool. When you close your eyes and imagine yourself already living your desired reality, you impress that image upon your subconscious. If done with feeling and persistence, this image begins to solidify in your outer world. However, assumption is not just about visualization. It is about living in the state of the wish fulfilled. This means not contradicting your assumption with thoughts of doubt, fear, or impatience. Many people assume for a moment and then immediately return to their old state of lack, undoing the work they have done. True assumption requires faith and persistence. You must hold on to your new state regardless of what the outer world currently shows you. Think of a seed planted in the ground. You do not dig it up each day to check if it is growing. You trust that it is taking root, even when you see nothing on the surface. The same principle applies to your desires. Once you have assumed them, you must trust that they are unfolding even if there is no immediate evidence. The world may seem unchanged at first, but beneath the surface, forces are aligning in your favor. Your job is not to figure out how your desire will manifest. The how is not your concern. The moment you try to control the process, you introduce resistance. Your only responsibility is to maintain the assumption, to live in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and to let reality take care of the details. The path to manifestation will reveal itself in ways you could never predict, often through a series of seemingly natural events. This is not about blind faith, but about understanding the mechanics of consciousness. When you assume and persist in a new state, you activate a law that is as certain as gravity. You may encounter tests, moments where the old reality seems to fight back, but these are merely reflections of past assumptions. Do not be swayed by them. Remain steadfast, knowing that what you hold within must externalize. The moment you fully embody your desire, without needing external confirmation, is the moment you shift into alignment with it. You do not need to seek, strive, or beg for what is already yours. Walk as though you have it now, and reality will have no choice but to comply. The way you think, feel, and act in this present moment determines what unfolds in your life. Reality does not respond to wishful thinking or fleeting desires. It mirrors back your dominant state of being. If you desire wealth, success, or love, you must not wait for external circumstances to change before you feel worthy or abundant. You must embody that feeling now, living in the assumption that what you seek is already yours. When you carry yourself with the certainty of someone who has already received their desire, the world has no choice but to reflect that truth back to you. Most people live in reaction to what is. They look at their current circumstances and allow them to dictate their emotions and beliefs. If their bank account is low, they feel poor. If they are single, they feel unloved. If their career is stagnant, they assume they are not meant for success. But this is the opposite of how reality truly works. Your outer world is nothing more than a mirror of your inner state. It does not create your consciousness. It reflects it. If you continue to wait for circumstances to change before you feel different, you will remain stuck in the same cycle, repeating the same experiences over and over again. The power lies in shifting your internal state first. Instead of looking to the world for proof that you are successful, wealthy, or loved, you must cultivate that feeling within yourself. This does not mean forcing positivity or denying your current reality. It means choosing to align your thoughts and emotions with the version of yourself that already has what you seek. The more you persist in this state, the faster reality conforms to it. The key is consistency, remaining unwavering in your assumption, regardless of what your senses may tell you. Consider how a person who already possesses what you desire would think and behave. If you seek financial abundance, how would a wealthy person approach their day? They would not dwell on lack, stress over bills, or question whether money is coming to them. They would operate from a mindset of security, ease, and confidence. They would make decisions based on abundance, not fear. If you wish to attract love, how would someone who is deeply cherished and adored carry themselves? They would not feel desperate or unworthy. They would exude self-assurance, peace, and contentment. If success is your goal, how does a successful person move through life? They trust in their abilities, they take bold actions, and they know that opportunities flow effortlessly to them. When you begin to embody these qualities before the physical evidence appears, you activate the unseen forces that shape reality. Your energy shifts, and so does the way people and circumstances respond to you. You no longer operate from a state of lack, waiting for something outside of you to make you feel whole. Instead, you generate the feeling internally, and the world must mirror it back to you. Many people struggle with this concept because they have been conditioned to believe in the limitations of the physical world. They trust what their eyes see more than what their mind creates. But the truth is, what you see now is only a reflection of past thoughts and beliefs. If you continue to react to the current state of things, you will keep creating more of the same. The only way to break free is to start seeing beyond the physical, to trust in the unseen, and to hold the assumption that your desire is already yours. Doubt is one of the biggest obstacles in this process. The logical mind wants to question, analyze, and demand proof, but manifestation does not operate on proof. It operates on faith and persistence. The moment you give in to doubt, you undo the work of assumption. If you plant a seed and constantly dig it up to see if it is growing, you will disrupt its process. The same applies to your desires. Once you have assumed the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you must trust that it is unfolding, even if there are no immediate signs. Your job is not to worry about how your desire will come to pass. The how is never your responsibility. The mind is limited in its ability to predict the infinite ways in which reality can shift. The only thing you must do is remain faithful to your new state of being. The means will reveal themselves naturally through a series of seemingly ordinary events that in hindsight will appear perfectly orchestrated. The more you try to force or control the process, the more resistance you create. Let go of the need to figure it all out. Assume the feeling, persist in it, and allow reality to catch up. A powerful practice is to begin each day as if your desire has already been fulfilled. Before you even step out of bed, take a moment to feel the emotions you would feel if your manifestation were already a reality. Walk through your day with the confidence, joy, and ease of someone who already possesses what they seek. Speak, act, and think as if you are already living in that reality. This is not about pretending or tricking yourself. It is about shifting your inner state so completely that the world must conform to it. Think of an actor who fully immerses themselves in a role. They do not simply recite lines, they become the character. Their thoughts, emotions, and mannerisms align with the role they are playing, and in doing so, they bring that character to life. In the same way, you must fully embody the version of yourself who already has what you desire. When this becomes your dominant state, manifestation is inevitable. Patience and persistence are key. Many people give up too soon because they do not see immediate results. They assume that because nothing appears to be changing on the surface, their assumption is not working. But just as a seed grows beneath the soil before sprouting into view, your new reality is taking shape even when you cannot see it. The timing of its appearance depends on your ability to remain faithful to your assumption. If you waver between belief and doubt, you delay the process. But if you hold steady, refusing to entertain thoughts of failure or lack, your new reality will manifest in ways beyond your imagination. It is also important to detach from needing your desire to manifest in a specific way. The universe is limitless in its capacity to bring your assumption into form. If you become fixated on one particular outcome, you may block even greater possibilities. Hold your vision, but remain open to the infinite ways it can unfold. The feeling is what matters, not the specific details of how it arrives. The moment you stop looking outside for confirmation and start generating the feeling from within, you shift into a state of true power. You no longer chase, strive, or struggle. You simply are, living as if your wish is already fulfilled, knowing that reality has no choice but to reflect that truth back to you. Every experience in life is a reflection of your inner world. The thoughts you entertain, the emotions you dwell in, and the assumptions you hold shape the reality you live in. If you believe you are lacking, if you see yourself as someone who is always struggling, then life will continuously provide circumstances to confirm that belief. If you walk through the world feeling unworthy, people will mirror that back to you. If you carry the assumption that things never work out for you, you will find yourself in a constant state of frustration. You are always living in the reflection of what you assume to be true about yourself and the world. The key to transformation is recognizing that your assumptions are not passive thoughts. They are creative forces shaping the very fabric of your experience. If you assume you are abundant, life responds with abundance. If you assume you are loved, you encounter love in unexpected ways. If you assume success is inevitable, the path to success unfolds before you, often in ways you never could have planned. It is not about wishing or hoping, it is about knowing. Assumption is the act of accepting something as fact before it appears in the physical world. It is the unwavering belief that what you desire is already yours, even if the senses have not yet caught up. Most people live by the evidence of their senses. They look at their bank account, their relationships, or their circumstances, and use what they see to determine what they believe is possible. But reality does not work that way. The external world is a delayed reflection of the internal world. The thoughts you held yesterday, the emotions you dwelt in last week, and the beliefs you carried last month are shaping your current experience. If you want to change what you see, you must first change what you assume to be true. This requires a radical shift in how you move through life. You can no longer afford to be a passive observer, reacting to circumstances as they appear. You must take control of your inner world and decide with conviction that what you desire is already yours. Assume it boldly. Walk through life as though your wish is already fulfilled. Feel the joy, the relief, the excitement that you would feel if you had it now. Do not look to the outside world for validation. Let your assumption be enough. This does not mean ignoring reality or pretending something exists when it does not. It means understanding that reality is fluid, constantly reshaping itself to match your dominant state of being. You are not bound by what is. You are bound only by what you believe is possible. If you assume lack, you will see lack. If you assume wealth, you will see wealth. If you assume health, you will see health. It all begins with assumption. Consider someone who desires financial freedom but constantly worries about money. They may work hard, set goals, and take action, but if their dominant assumption is that money is scarce, they will continue to struggle. Their actions may be in the right direction, but their internal state contradicts their desire. The external world does not respond to effort alone. It responds to the assumption behind the effort. If this person shifts their assumption and begins to believe with certainty that they are financially abundant, they will start to see evidence of that belief. New opportunities will arise. Unexpected sources of income will appear, and they will begin to experience the wealth they assumed was theirs. The same principle applies to relationships. If someone believes deep down that they are unworthy of love, they will attract relationships that confirm that belief. They may meet people who treat them poorly, who are emotionally unavailable, or who reinforce feelings of rejection. But if they shift their assumption and begin to see themselves as deeply loved and cherished, the outer world must reflect that new assumption. They will encounter people who respect, appreciate, and adore them, not because they changed the external world, but because they changed their internal world. This is why assumption is the foundation of all manifestation. It does not matter how much action you take or how many affirmations you repeat. If your dominant assumption contradicts your desire, you will not see lasting change. Your subconscious mind accepts what you assume to be true, and it rearranges reality accordingly. This is why some people seem to attract success effortlessly, while others struggle for years with no results. It is not luck, it is not chance, it is assumption. Those who succeed assume they will succeed, and so they do. Those who fail assume failure is inevitable, and so it is. Doubt is the greatest enemy of assumption. The moment you question whether your desire is possible, you introduce resistance. Doubt is an assumption in itself, an assumption that what you want may not happen. The mind will always try to present reasons why your assumption is unrealistic. It will remind you of past failures, point out obstacles, and insist that reality does not change so easily. But the mind is only repeating what it has been conditioned to believe. The truth is, reality is far more malleable than most people realize. It is constantly being shaped by the assumptions you hold, whether consciously or unconsciously. To master assumption, you must learn to persist. You must hold to your belief even when the outer world has not yet changed. You must remain unwavering in your conviction, knowing that your assumption is more real than what your senses tell you. If you assume wealth, do not let a temporary financial setback shake your belief. If you assume love, do not let an argument or a period of loneliness make you doubt. If you assume success, do not let a temporary failure convince you otherwise. These are simply echoes of past assumptions playing out. Stay firm in your new belief, and the world must conform. One of the most powerful ways to strengthen an assumption is to act in accordance with it. If you assume you're wealthy, carry yourself with the confidence of someone who is financially secure. If you assume you are loved, move through the world with the assurance of someone who is cherished. If you assume success, take actions as though success is already yours. This does not mean reckless spending arrogance, or blind faith. It means aligning your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors with the version of yourself that already has what you seek. The more you embody the assumption, the faster it solidifies into reality. At first, this may feel unnatural. The mind may resist, offering reasons why your assumption is unrealistic. But do not be discouraged. This is simply the old programming fighting to maintain control. The key is persistence. Continue to assume, continue to feel, continue to believe, and eventually the mind will accept the new reality as fact. And once it does, the world will change to reflect it. There is no force outside of you determining what you can or cannot have. You are the creator of your experience, shaping reality through the assumptions you hold. If you want something, assume it is already yours. Live in that assumption. Breathe it, feel it, walk in it. The world has no choice but to align itself with the reality you assume to be true. Everything in your life is a reflection of the state of being you persistently assume to be true. You cannot separate yourself from your assumptions, for they dictate what you experience. The world you see, the circumstances you encounter, and the people you interact with are all shaped by the dominant beliefs you hold. When you persist in a particular assumption, reality has no choice but to conform to it. The key is understanding that this process is not instantaneous. It requires faith, patience, and unwavering commitment to what you have chosen to believe. Most people waver in their assumptions. They may believe in abundance for a moment, but as soon as they check their bank account and see a number that contradicts their assumption, they revert to their old belief in lack. They may assume they are loved, but the moment they face rejection or loneliness, they begin to question their worth. This is why many never see the fulfillment of their desires. They do not persist. They let external circumstances dictate their inner world instead of holding firm to their chosen assumption. Reality bends to persistence, not to fleeting thoughts or momentary affirmations. The world does not change because you simply wish for it to. It changes because you persist in the conviction that it already has. This is the secret that so many overlook. When you assume something and hold to it without allowing doubt to creep in, the entire structure of reality begins to shift in response. The people you meet, the opportunities that arise, and the events that unfold all begin to align with the state of being you have claimed as your own. But you must remain steadfast in that assumption, regardless of what your senses tell you. Most people let circumstances dictate their beliefs. If they see evidence of failure, they assume they are failing. If they see a lack of progress, they assume their efforts are in vain. But the outer world is simply a reflection of past assumptions. And if you continue to react to what is, you will keep creating more of the same. You must break the cycle by persisting in a new assumption, even when there is no visible proof to support it. You must trust in the unseen, knowing that what you have assumed is already taking shape beneath the surface. There is no power in the external world greater than the power within you. Everything you see around you was once an unseen assumption. Every success story, every great achievement, every miraculous transformation began with an individual who dared to persist in their vision, even when there was no evidence to support it. They lived as if it were already true, and by doing so they called it into existence. You must do the same. Doubt is the greatest enemy of persistence. The moment you allow doubt to take root, you introduce resistance into your creation. The mind will always try to question, analyze, and rationalize. It will look at the external world and point out every reason why your assumption cannot be true. It will remind you of past failures, highlight obstacles, and insist that reality does not change so easily. But the mind is simply reflecting old conditioning. If you listen to it, you will remain stuck in the same cycle. You must train yourself to persist beyond doubt. When negative thoughts arise, do not entertain them. When circumstances seem to contradict your assumption, remind yourself that they are only temporary echoes of past beliefs. Hold firm to your new assumption as if your life depended on it. Speak it, think it, feel it, embody it. Do not allow anything to shake your conviction. If you persist, reality will have no choice but to shift. The reason so many fail to manifest their desires is that they give up too soon. They assume something for a day, a week, or even a month, but when they see no immediate change, they abandon their belief. They return to their old assumptions, reinforcing the same unwanted circumstances. But the truth is, the moment you assume something with unwavering persistence, it is already done. The only thing that delays its appearance is your own wavering belief. Consider the process of planting a seed. When you plant a seed in the soil, you do not dig it up every day to check if it is growing. You trust that beneath the surface, unseen forces are at work. You water it, nurture it, and give it time to grow. If you were to uproot it every time doubt crept in, it would never have the chance to take root. The same principle applies to assumption. Once you plant the seed of belief, you must nurture it with persistence, trusting that it will manifest in its perfect time. There is nothing in the universe that can deny you what you assume with full conviction. Reality is not separate from you, it is created by you. If you persist in the assumption that you are wealthy, the world will move in ways beyond your comprehension to bring that wealth to you. If you persist in the assumption that you are loved, love will find its way to you regardless of past experiences. If you persist in the assumption of success, opportunities will arise, doors will open, and circumstances will align to fulfill that assumption. But you must remain faithful to it, no matter what appears in the moment. You are not bound by time. The external world takes time to catch up to your inner world. But the moment you assume something, it is already real. You may not see the evidence right away, but that does not mean it is not in motion. Everything you assume with conviction is already set in motion, working behind the scenes to align itself with your belief. Your only task is to persist until the physical world reflects what you have claimed internally. The mind may try to convince you that you are lying to yourself, that you are delusional for assuming something that is not yet visible. But reality itself is an illusion, shaped by the assumptions you hold. The moment you fully embody an assumption, the illusion shifts to match it. What once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. There is no secret technique, no external force you need to seek out. The only thing required is persistence. Do not look to the world for confirmation. Do not seek validation from others. Do not waver when doubt arises. Simply persist. Persist in the feeling of already having what you desire. Persist in the belief that it is already yours. Persist until it becomes so natural that you no longer question it. And when you do, reality will bend to your assumption, for it has no choice but to reflect what you have persistently claimed as true. Reality is shaped by the assumptions you persist in, and when you fully commit to an idea, the external world has no choice but to conform. The moment you decide that something is yours and refuse to accept anything contrary to that belief, the universe reorganizes itself to bring your assumption into physical reality. The power to shape your world is not in effort, struggle, or external action. It is in the unwavering persistence of your assumption. Most people allow their assumptions to be dictated by what they see, hear, and experience. They look at their bank account and assume lack. They observe their relationships and assume loneliness. They assess their progress and assume failure. But all of these conditions are simply reflections of past assumptions, not fixed realities. If you continue to react to what is, you will only reinforce it. But if you choose to persist in a new assumption, despite what your senses tell you, you begin to alter the very fabric of your reality. There is no force outside of you dictating what you can or cannot have. The only limitation is your own willingness to persist. Every person who has ever achieved great success, overcome hardship, or transformed their life has done so by holding steadfastly to an inner vision. They did not let temporary setbacks deter them. They did not allow doubt to take root. They persisted in their belief, even when everything around them seemed to contradict it. And in time, reality yielded to their assumption. Your assumption is like a seed planted in the soil of consciousness. If you plant a seed and continuously dig it up to check if it is growing, you will only hinder its progress. In the same way, if you assume something and then doubt it, question it, or seek external validation, you disrupt the natural process of its manifestation. The key is to persist without wavering, to hold the assumption so firmly in mind that it becomes your dominant reality, even before the external world confirms it. Most people underestimate the power of their assumptions because they expect immediate results. They assume something for a day or two, and when they see no change, they revert to their old way of thinking. But reality operates on a delay. There is a period of unseen transformation before the physical manifestation appears. The only thing required during this period is persistence. Imagine a sculptor working on a block of marble. At first, the block appears unchanged. The sculptor continues chiseling, refining, and shaping, even though the final form is not yet visible. If the sculptor gave up after the first few strokes, the masterpiece would never emerge. The same is true of your assumptions. You must continue holding them, even when there is no visible sign of progress. Every moment you persist, you are shaping the unseen forces of reality. There is no greater power in existence than the persistence of an assumed belief. Everything you desire already exists in a state of potential. The only thing separating you from it is your ability to assume it as already yours. You do not need to know how it will come to pass. You do not need to force circumstances to change. Your only task is to persist in the assumption until it becomes so real in your mind that the external world has no choice but to reflect it. Doubt is the only thing that can delay or deny your manifestation. The moment you begin to question whether your assumption is working, you introduce resistance into the process. Doubt is the act of assuming something contrary to your desire. When you persist in an assumption, you cannot entertain its opposite. You cannot assume abundance while simultaneously fearing lack. You cannot assume love while doubting your worthiness. You cannot assume success while fixating on failure. The mind cannot hold two opposing beliefs at once. Whichever you persist in will become your reality. This is why persistence is the key to transformation. It is not enough to assume something for a moment or a day. You must live in the certainty of its truth, regardless of what the outside world appears to show you. When you persist in the assumption that you already own everything you desire, reality moves to confirm it. Doors open where there were none before. Opportunities arise in unexpected ways. People and circumstances shift in alignment with your belief. The world is a mirror, reflecting back to you the state of consciousness you occupy. If you want to change what appears in the mirror, you must first change within. Persist in the assumption that you are already the person who has what you desire. Walk, talk, think, and feel as if it is already true. Do not wait for evidence. Become the embodiment of your assumption now. When you persist in this way, the world cannot help but conform. The process is simple, yet most fail because they do not persist. They allow their senses to deceive them. They let external circumstances shake their belief. They listen to the doubts of others and question their own power. But those who persist, who refuse to accept anything less than the fulfillment of their assumption, are the ones who reshape reality itself. Nothing is outside your reach. There is no desire too great, no dream too distant. The only requirement is that you persist in the assumption that it is already yours. Do not concern yourself with how it will happen. Do not look to the world for confirmation. Simply assume, persist, and allow reality to catch up to your belief. When you do, you will see the world shift in ways that seem miraculous, yet were inevitable all along. There is nothing in this world that can deny you what you assume with unwavering conviction. The external world is not separate from you, it is shaped by you. The moment you claim something as yours and persist in that assumption, reality begins to shift in ways beyond your comprehension. You do not need to beg, chase, or force anything into existence. Simply live in the certainty that what you desire is already yours, and the world will adjust to reflect that truth. Doubt and hesitation are the only barriers to your manifestation. The moment you waver, you delay the fulfillment of your desire. But when you remain steadfast, refusing to let external circumstances shake your belief, you align yourself with the creative power that governs all things. You do not need to look for signs or seek proof. Persist in the assumption and the proof will appear. You hold within you the power to shape your reality. Persist, believe, and live as though you already own everything you desire. The world will respond accordingly, for it has no choice but to reflect the state of being you have claimed as your own.